over 1 million people died. Bro, they died. They died. And for all the griping and complaining that conservatives do about, oh, the country's shut down. Bro, who was the president when the country was shut down? Donald Trump was the president when the country was shut down. And he's the one who dismantled our response system because, who needs it? And then he's the one who pretended like COVID wasn't real. Like, oh, it's not real. It's not happening. And then when he was forced to admit that it's real, he was like, it's going to go away really fast. It's going to be a miracle. And then after that, he was the one who told everybody, I don't know, inject bleach. Just get some bleach and inject it. Just get some UV lights. Bro, he's a blithering idiot. He is so goddamn stupid, as we've discussed. That is what's going on. Bro, Donald Trump and Elon Musk particularly while he was still there, he fired thousands of people. This is what they do. But no, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about DI. We got to get and then Charlie Kirk, I took it down already. I'm not going to pull it back up. And then the other thing that kills me about Charlie Kirk is him and his, he acts like he's this bastion of testosterone. Like he is the prime example of this manly man. It's like, bro, you gonna look like a little boy for the rest of your life. You feel me? Like you look like a little ass kid, and you sitting around here, man. It's just, like I don't even know, man. But we had a fun show. We talked about conservatives griping about Superman, because it's an immigration story. Like, but he's literally an alien. He's literally an illegal alien. You feel me? Like he's the epitome of that. His mother forged his birth certificate. They broke the law. They're harboring an illegal, but fuck all that shit. We talked about shit. What else did we talk? We talked about all types of stuff. But Brother Ben, Pastor Ben, he's going to take over. I definitely had a good time with y'all. I'm about to hit the city. I'm about to go to an event for work. And then after that, I'm going to go have some drinks. I'm going downtown. You feel me? So I hope that y'all have a fantastic weekend. I had a great time with y'all. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Brother Ben. Y'all have a good night.
The Benjamin Dixon Show was only possible with listener support. Go to patreon.com/thebpd show and support the Benjamin Dixon Show.
Gentlemen and gender non-conforming individuals to another episode of the Benjamin Dixon Show, streaming live on thisspace.tv. And you know what I'm realizing now? I have my microphone running in the wrong system, so I'm going to take a second and fix that. That said, I want to run a clip. I want to run a clip because we are facing some really difficult times. And I know for a fact that the direction that we are going in the United States of America is one where we are going to clearly see ICE no longer being used for immigration, but ICE being used for the detainment of all of us who oppose Donald Trump, who do not agree with or stand for what he has been doing and what he continues to do, what he is doing in this country, not only to immigrants, but what he's doing to democracy, what he is doing to the rule of law, what he is doing to the consciousness of the American people. We are going to very quickly find, that Donald Trump is going to use ICE against us. And if we wait until that time, it will be entirely too late. It's the poem. It's the poem that everyone recites in these types of circumstances. It's the poem that says, first, they came for first they came for the communists. First they came for the socialists, right? And then by the time they came for us, we realized that there was no one to fight on our behalf. I want you to just look at this clip and listen to this coverage. Give me a second to make a change and an adjustment on this microphone so that we can get down to business properly. But this is going on right now as we speak, where ICE is raiding and attempting to seize and detain farm workers. And there is resistance that is taking place right now as we speak. And I want to convince every one of you that this is the time right now to fight ICE. Not later, right now. What does it mean to fight? Am I telling you to do something illegal? Absolutely not. But I'm saying that if we hold back and we are afraid and we don't confront them now, they will be released to detain us in short order. Take a listen to this clip and we'll be right back.
Is happening at Wood and Laguna, and you now see the military vehicles advancing despite those protesters trying to make a stance and trying to stop the military vehicle from continuing on. And there's cameras rolling, cell phone cameras rolling, and this group of people are really trying to get this military vehicle to stop, and it doesn't appear that it will. It is continuing to push forward, and now the people are moving away from in front of that military vehicle, which is a good thing. We don't want to see anyone get hurt, but again, you see this grouping of military vehicles advancing toward the federal agents further down on the street. And now we see that there's some water or something else being thrown at some of the military vehicles driving by, the trucks.
Okay. Again, this is happening right now as we speak. This is happening. And here's one of the first things I want to ask about this situation. What's happening is we see ICE detaining farm workers. Right? I know Nick is like, Ben, you got to be able to produce better than this by now. I really should be. Here's what I know we need to talk about, because if they were honestly serious, folks, about stopping quote unquote illegal immigration, and I say quote unquote because I don't believe anyone is illegal, period, full stop. If they were serious about stopping it, you would see a perp walk of all of the employers who are hiring the illegal immigrants. But instead, we see this spectacle, this dog and pony show, where they are dragging out the immigrants from their workplaces. Come on, folks, listen. If you want to stop a thing, you don't go after the individuals engaged, you go to the head. Does that make sense to anybody? Does anybody get that just immediately at face value? If they actually wanted to stop illegal immigration, then they would target the employers who are incentivizing that migrants come across the border illegally. But that's not what happens. What we get instead is we get these dog and pony shows, because it's not about the immigration. It's about the fact that Donald Trump is trying to satiate and satisfy the desires of racist people. Here's Ilhan Omar, and she talks about the budget of ICE. And here's why I want you to realize that we absolutely must fight ICE right now. We must fight ICE right now. One, because it's the moral thing to do. It's the righteous thing to do. It's it's the right side of the moral arc of the universe. It's the right side of history to do it. You don't have to do something just because it's in your own best interest. Mind you, you should not do something and wait until it's in your own best interest. But if you are a person who believes that your best interest matters, fine, I'll give you that. Do it now. Do it now on behalf of immigrants, because they're coming after you. Maybe you're not going to do it because the reason I'm doing it. Maybe you're not going to do it like I'm doing it because I'm doing it because it's the moral, the righteous, and the liberation thing to do. But you got to be able to see that what they're setting up for migrants is coming to your street, because you don't give an entity like ICE $150 billion as they use $45 billion of that to create more detention centers. I thought this was about deporting people. I thought that this was about getting them out of the country, but you're creating $45 billion worth of new detention centers, 10,000 new ICE, 10,000 new ICE agents. And you want us to believe that they're not coming for us in the end? Here's Ilhan Omar.
This district is home to one of the youngest constituents in the country, because it includes so many higher ed institutions, including the University of Minnesota. This bill tells them you are on your own. And for what? To hand over $150 billion to immigration enforcement, $45 billion for ICE detentions, more than 13 times their current budget. We're already seeing reports of new detention centers like the Alligator Alcatraz being built in Florida.
Folks, Alligator Alcatraz was a $450 million project that was given to a private contractor. And I want to know exactly who they were and how that request for proposal was got through so quickly. All of this is a for-profit industry. This is putting money into the hands of private contractors. They are monetizing this Gestapo. They have monetized it. And I guess at the end of the day, it's always been monetized, right? I can't act surprised about the fact that it is a monetization scheme. It has always been about the money. And we're looking at 10,000 new ICE agents who are getting brought into the budget in order for what? For what? See, I think what we're missing is the fact that ICE being underneath the Homeland Security. Here's the for what. I'm answering my question. ICE being underneath Homeland Security only really requires a revision of their mandate, and it will not require an act of Congress to do so. If their mandate changes from immigration to living in, they don't have to change their budget. They don't have to change. All they have to do is rebrand, get a new purpose, a new identity. That's it. That's it. And I believe that we are missing that reality. I believe that a lot of people are thinking that you are an American citizen. Oh, never mind the fact that they are starting and leaning in heavily on denaturalizing American citizens. Never mind the fact that they're trying to get rid of birthright citizenship, right? Never mind all that. But people believe because, oh, I'm a citizen, this won't happen to me. The hope, do people not remember history? Did they not learn their history in the first place? Have they not seen how these private militias and these private Gestapo, the SS troops from Germany, are always an internal force that began as something else, and their mandate evolved into what was used to detain and harm citizens of all types. That part, that's the part. Here's a clip from Fox News that I want you to take a look at, because it's dealing with Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. And she is making the case, Karen Bass is making the case that we don't know who these people really are. We don't even know. They all are masked. Most of the time, they don't have proper identification. Most of the time, they do not have proper identification. And so what do? They're able to just pick people up off the street, no warrant, no, nothing. They just see somebody who looks like an immigrant and they detain them. And let me be careful. I don't even want to say detain, because how can we say detain when they have not even identified themselves? Here's Fox News trying to make the case that, oh, we know who they are, as if it's not easy because they're wearing uniforms, right? As if it's not easy for me to Google right now and look up and find me an FBI hat, or to make something and say ICE on it. Let's listen to Fox News.
Karen Bass, the mayor of LA, just said, caught my attention when she said, how do we know that this is an arrest and not a kidnapping? I'll turn it over to you. How would she know?
Well, I mean, Dana, you can see from all the video too, right? They say that ICE agents, they're not properly marked. You see them in their tactical gear, in their vest, where, you blatantly see FBI, ATF, ICE, HSI, ERO, whoever's out with us. So the mayor's claims are just totally false. And what she's doing is making people afraid of us. If, LA wasn't a sanctuary city, we wouldn't have to go on the streets. If they turn these criminals over to us in a secure setting, we would not be out there. So what the mayor is doing is she's stoking the flames of this, and she's the one that's making it worse than what it really is.
Worse than what it really is. What it really is the formation and the release of American Gestapo. And we need to identify them as such. We need to identify them as such. They need to be treated as such. They are a threat to our democracy. They are a threat to our freedom. They are a threat to everything that we believe. And we would be complete and total fools to sit back and just simply allow them to run through our streets unchallenged. Well, the beautiful thing about it is they are, in fact, not being unchallenged. I'm seeing them. I have more footage coming out of California today, where and Alligator Alley, not Alligator Alley. No, I'm not even going to call it what they're calling it, Alligator Alcatraz, right? We see people protesting. And in fact, I believe that first video I shared with you where they were trying to stop the military truck was the military truck that was trying to get to the concentration camp in Florida. That's what we're going to call it, because that's what it is, a concentration camp. My goodness, can folks, I'm not trying to, yes, I am trying to sound the alarm. Yeah. Let me not even tiptoe around it. I am trying to sound the alarm and bring you to attention so that you can understand the nature of the threat that is impending. Can you imagine what is going to happen when you have 10,000 new ICE agents deployed inside of the United States of America, not on the border, inside? And they will not have 10,000 agents, troops, Gestapo, who will not have the restrictions that the military has, the rules of engagement that the military has, the inability to engage in our streets like the military has. And this will be a military that essentially is bigger than the Marines in terms of funding, but without the discipline, without the training, without at least the sense of honor. Be careful, you watch my words here. My words are intent. Without this sense, without any even appeal to the respect for the Constitution, who would all be serving not just serving Donald Trump. We got to get down to the nitty gritty of it. They will not just be serving Donald Trump. They will be serving white supremacy. Full stop. listen, and I got to go even further because it's not even just white supremacy. It is white supremacy at the top of it. It is patriarchy at the top of it. It is capitalism at the top of it. That's the unholy trinity of white America. It is capitalism, it is patriarchy, it is white supremacy. But they're not just serving that. What they're serving is an agenda that is fueled by all of those three things. So you're not going to be safe if you are simply a white guy, you know, a straight white guy, or even better, maybe you're a straight white Christian man. You still will not be safe if you're not a straight white Christian man who serves MAGA. Okay, I need because when I say white supremacy, sometimes I love you white folks, all y'all, I love, you know, my white woke white friends, I rock with y'all. But sometimes when we say white supremacy, you don't realize that that is an imminent threat to you too. It is an imminent threat to you too, especially if you have even thoughts that oppose white supremacy, if you have thoughts that oppose MAGA, if you have opinions, if you actually speak out against MAGA, it's coming after you too. Do y'all understand? Y'all understand what I'm trying to tell you? It does not matter who you are, what you believe. If you are not a servant of MAGA, and if you are not and to be a servant of MAGA, that means that you are a servant of Donald Trump, you are a servant of white supremacy, you are a servant of patriarchy, and you are a servant of capitalism. If you are not those four things, ICE is coming for you. Again, if you are not coming, if you are not standing for those things, ICE is also coming for you. So yes, somebody said online, oh, Pastor Ben, you're being a fearmonger. You know, call it what you want to call it. It's the truth. So again, I need to contextualize it. 10,000 new ICE agents. 10,000 new ICE agents without the restrictions of the military, without the sense of honor of the military, without the restrictions, without the principles, without the rules of engagement. All they are, and you got to think of it in this context, you got to really put it in your folks. They will be becoming ICE agents because they want to execute this type of agenda. Can I say it again? These are people who will be hired to be ICE agents because they are loyal to Donald Trump, because they are loyal to white supremacy, because they are loyal to the patriarchy, and because they are loyal to capitalism. Not as though they're going to take, you know, first of all, they have to hire 10,000 new people. You think they're going to take somebody who isn't loyal to Donald Trump? You think they're going to take somebody who they can't do an AI research on, a brain search using AI of every post that they ever made on social media, every comment they ever made on a forum, every statement that they ever got in trouble for at school? They are going to find 10,000 of the most loyal people to Donald Trump that they can possibly find, and that's who they're going to hire. Do you see what's happening? Do you see what is happening? It's critical that we understand that we are at an inflection point right now. And I believe that's why we're seeing so many people. We're seeing so many people stand up right now. In fact, we're seeing so many people stand up right now. I want to get another video on the screen here. This one Let's take a look at this one. My memory escapes me. Where is this one located?
At the same time, accusing Democrats and those on the left of amplifying this rhetoric against federal agents and ICE agents.
And the pepper balls being fired back towards the crowd, but the crowd was also picking up items, rocks, whatever I guess they can find on the ground, and starting to throw them back towards federal agents, which is just going to create an even more volatile situation here between agents and the community members, and they at some point are just going to continue to push this crowd further and further away.
They are going to these farms. And I want to repeat this point again, because I need everybody to understand exactly how foolish, how absolutely, utterly ridiculous this entire thing is. That was a farm in Ventura County. And they are going to these farms and they are getting migrant workers. And they're doing it underneath the guise of getting rid of, quote unquote, the illegals. But can I ask the same question again, folks? Why aren't they arresting the people who hired them? Why are they arresting the people who hired them? Because it's not about that. It's not actually about that. They're playing a game of cat and mouse with the employers so that they can put on a spectacle with the employees. And the spectacle is on behalf of sadistic, downright. I'm going to make the case. I'm going to make the case, and you guys forgive the video seems to be real laggy today. I had to improvise at the last second. I honestly, I'm running my video through an old computer it might be old as me. I had to improvise at the last second. The video is not doing well today, but I want you to hear me and hear me clearly. From what they tell me, the audio seems to be fine. So that's good. As long as you can hear the words that are coming out of my mouth. They are putting on a spectacle for the most demonic people on the face of the planet. And I know my atheist and agnostic friends would rather I not use religious jargon, but I'm telling you, I've mapped this thing out. And when I say demonic, I don't mean spooky, ghosts and goblins, I don't mean, a devil with a pitchfork. I don't mean, I don't mean anything magical, metaphysical, supernatural. I mean a methodology, a very intentional methodology that mirrors anything any religious person could have ever called evil. They're putting on a spectacle for people who revel in cruelty. They cherish cruelty. They are animated by how much harm they can cause. See, it's not just the lies and the hypocrisy. Those are the tools. It's not just the lies and the hypocrisy. That's the way they get away with it. The ends, outcomes, the results, what they get out of it is a cruelty that require. Okay, let me go. Let's go straight to the point. Do you know how evil and sadistic and downright malevolent you have to be in your core person to look at what's happening in Gaza and say there is no genocide, or to say we should be able to do what we want to do because that's our land. We conquered it. Who was it? It was I'm trying to remember what politician it was today. Steve Scalise, man who got shot, the man who got shot on the baseball field, right? See, this is how I know these people are demons deep down, because they could be this close to death and they still don't care about how evil they operate on this planet. Steve Scalise was today talking about the fact that 17 million people are going to be taken off of Medicaid. And he created a straw man. All right. Nothing new for politics. We get straw men all the time. His straw man was, it's going to work out fine because it's really going to be 35-year-old healthy men who are in their mom's basement playing video games that are going to be the ones who have to go get a job in order to get Medicaid. Okay. Stay with me. This man who got shot, almost died, that close to hell, is now publicly using a made-up fictional straw man to justify 17 million people losing Medicaid. And of those 17 million, we know for a certainty that there are going to be a percentage of them who die. They are going to kill people, and they have no hesitation, no reservation about using a lie in order to get it done. So it's not just the methodology. It's not just the fact that they lie. It's about what are they lying for? What are they being hypocritical for? They are being hypocritical. They are lying in order to hurt us, to harm us, to ultimately, yes, kill us. All of us, if it happens. Do you think Robert Kennedy Jr. is making the moves that he's making at the Department of Health and Human Services to help us? Do you think he's unaware of the fact that there are going to be thousands of people who die as a result, tens of thousands of people who die as a result? I mean, good Lord, if a new pandemic comes around, not as though we've actually come out of the first pandemic, but I digress. We can see millions of people die because of the decisions being made by Robert Kennedy Jr. How can you look at that and think of anything else other than pure evil? Look at what they're doing with ICE. Look at how they're doing it. Look at who they are harming. Look at their long-term agenda. How can we label it as anything else other than evil? Their methodology is evil. The outcomes are evil. That's why I call them demons at this point. You have to really sit back and folks, this week, God strength this week or early next week, maybe over the weekend, I don't know, sometime in the very near future, I'm dropping a book, and it's going to be a free book. It's a free book, but when I tell you free is not the value of it. Okay, I'm making it free because I just need to get the word out, and I've mapped out this evil. But I've mapped it out in a very specific way. I've mapped it out in terms of capitalism. And I'm making the case. The title of the book is You Can't Be a Christian and a Capitalist. You cannot be a Christian and a capitalist. And in that book, the chapter I'm writing down now, and I'll be done here shortly, I had to go back. I had so much done, but there's something that was bothering me, and I just couldn't get it out of my head until I resolved it. Like the rest of the book is ready to go. I just had to go back and put this chapter in, and it's a chapter on the mechanisms that capitalism uses. It's the same mechanism that empire uses. And it's not just it's not just exploitation, it's not just extraction, it's not just extermination, it's not just exhausting all of us, all of those things. But it is a intentional mechanism, machine that is perfectly designed to grind us to a pulp. A lot of people think that they're, you know, when people get sophisticated and start learning about capitalism like I did, you know, I was like, my mind went, I said, oh, wow, I'm just a cog in the machine. I'm just a cog in the machine. No, no, we are meat being grinded up in the machine. And the machine is so perfectly designed, it's almost impossible to escape it, except we're able to identify it, call it for what it is, see how it operates, see all of the moving parts. And so not only am I doing this from a scriptural perspective, as a Christian, you cannot be a Christian and be a capitalist. I go scripture by scripture and make the case, but I'm also making the case that you have to literally see the structure of the machine that we are operating in. Because if you don't see the structure of the machine that we are operating in, then you won't really understand how, try not to cuss, Lord, how blanking evil this thing is. It is pure evil. And anybody defending it, anybody justifying it, anybody explaining it away, you are doing the service of not only an evil empire, but an evil economic engine that is perfectly designed to harm us. Such is the case of the ogre himself. Oh, where'd my video go? The ogre from Pennsylvania, who ran as a progressive and turned out to not even be a neoliberal. John Fetterman. John Fetterman ran as a progressive, and turns out that John Fetterman is basically a fascist, if you ask me. Here's a clip of him. There we go. No, that's perfect. I couldn't find it.
In New York City, and so I have no dog in that fight. And everything that I've read on him, I don't really agree with virtually any of it politically. So that's just where I'm at as a Democrat. I mean, he's not even a Democrat, honestly.
You want to take that on? He's not.
You can't get the context of it, and I apologize. He's talking about Zoran Mandami. Y'all know I'm from the South. Y'all know my mouth doesn't move the way it's supposed to. Ma'am Donnie. He's talking about him not even being a Democrat. What did he say last week? He called him a socialist. And, this guy, John Fetterman. It's one thing he's going after Zoran, okay, but the way that he also protects and justifies the evil machine that Israel is running right now in Gaza. See, I bring him up amongst all the other things I'm getting ready to bring up because we have to completely forget about the label and the name, are they Democrat or Republican? That has to, we have to reject that framing altogether. Why? Because at the end of the day, what are they standing for? Who are they fighting for? Who are they fighting against? We saw in that clip, he's fighting against a Democratic Socialist of America. He's fighting against a guy who's standing up for the working class. He's fighting, John Fetterman, fighting against a guy who is standing up for people who are being genocided. So don't tell me that he's a Democrat and we got to, primary him. Richie Torres in New York. I didn't get this clip, but he's on CNN talking about he knows why the left that likes Zoran is attacking him because I'm pro-Israel and they don't like anyone who's pro-Israel. I don't like anyone who's pro-genocide, you demonic imp. To defend Israel in this moment is the defense of genocide. It was genocide a year ago. More than a year ago. We've been doing, they had, when was that? How long ago was that the ICJ ruled? It was officially war crimes over a year ago. Richie Torres, the Democrat out of New York who needs to be primaried. At this point, anybody who is accepting money from AIPAC needs to be primaried. I don't care if you've been a Democrat your whole life. That's all the more reason, in my opinion. Don't tell me what your party is. Tell me what you're fighting for. More importantly, tell me who you're fighting against, what you're fighting against. If you are fighting against those of us who are trying to see the slaughter of genocide stop, you're an evil person. I've come, and it's the only language that's capable of capturing it, right? Because you can't really say, oh, they're bad. No, you know, this bad doesn't capture it. Oh, they're no good. No, that doesn't capture it. You know, malevolent is a good word for it. That captures some of it. But Zionism, Zionists, see, it was one thing. It was one thing, and this is not, I'm not saying what I'm getting ready to say is kind of an indictment against me. Okay, so I'm not saying this as a way of. I just want to give you that I'm indicting myself. It was one thing when it was hidden and subtle in the West. It was never hidden. It was never subtle in Palestine. But when it was hidden and subtle in the West, Zionists could just breeze through society and just always get away with that question. Do you not believe Israel has a right to exist? Do you not believe Israel has a right to defend itself? You know, you could be sitting at the table, not realizing that you're sitting with someone who would later on defend genocide. See, but now now the evil has been fully revealed, fully and completely and totally revealed. And here they are willing to open up their mouth and justify beheaded babies. Not the lie, not the beheaded babies that they lied about on October 7th. I'm talking about children in Gaza, videos that I've seen with my own eyes of children with their heads blown off. And the level of evil that drives, and I got to bring it home. I got to bring it a little closer. The level of evil that drives Zionism is willing to look you in the face and say, you see that dead baby over there? That baby's not really dead. You see that entire refugee camp that they just bombed? That didn't really happen. What starvation? What Palestine? There's no such thing as Palestine. Demons. And watch this. It's the same demon of white supremacy. I think maybe this is when it really clicked for me, right? Because what Zionism is at its core is the tip of the spear of white supremacy, settler colonialism. It is the present iteration. Take what Columbus started in what Columbus participated in 1492 and the genocide of the indigenous populations here to take their land. That project never ended. That project never ended. The most modern version of it, that white supremacist extension, exists right now in Gaza. Evil. And it's always been racial capitalism, as Cedric Johnson so brilliantly coined. So it's not just the whiteness, It's also the greed. It's also the logic of empire, yes, but also the logic of capitalism, the logic of consumption. You got to get more. You got to expand. You got to get more land. You got to take something that's not yours, and then you got to expand from there because you're going to always need more. You're going to always need to consume more. You're going to always need to develop more, even though you just got through developing over here 10 years ago. Now you're going to develop over there, and you got to take somebody else's land. It's always expansionary. It never contracts. It never even stabilizes. It never is satisfied with what it has. This white supremacist experiment that has been on the face of the planet since before Jesus was born. I don't know if I said that last week. I've been doing so many shows. I don't know what show I said it on. I don't know if I said it on this episode. I don't know. But this demon has been here since before Jesus was born. The Roman Empire. Settler colonialism from Europe has been happening since before Jesus was born. And what's going on in Gaza right now is the continuation of that same demon. What's going on with ICE in the United States right now is the spectacle version of it. It's the spectacle. It's the dog and pony show. It's the Coliseum. It's all one global project that we have been suffering under for a very, very, very long time. And the real question is can we get enough solidarity horizontally? Can we get enough solidarity and enough awareness of this monster for us to not overthrow it, but to take a step back and say we will no longer participate in it? See, if I can leave you with anything before I go, well, I guess I got a few more minutes, but the Angry Ginger's here. I might lean on him a little earlier. But my camera seems to be doing better, so that's a positive. When you really pause and analyze this machine that I'm going to expose in this book that's coming out, again, the book is going to be free. You'll be able to get it on my Patreon without becoming a patron. So you don't even have to become a patron. But if you read the book and you are blessed by it, then most certainly become a patron. But when you look at this machine, the mechanism, the gears, the pulleys, right? The actual cogs, how it operates, and you see how it's perfectly designed to grind us up. This is how perfectly designed it is. And actually, I'm not the first one to come up with this. Herbert Marcuse, one-dimensional man in the entertainment complex, he said it best. This machine is perfectly designed to take our outrage, process it, package it up, and then resell it to us in t-shirts, resell it to us in brands. It takes any type of protest, and that which it can't crush through violence, it co-ops. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't protest. I'm not saying that we shouldn't physically resist. I'm saying one of the ways that we have to include our arsenal against this machine is to simply take a step back and say, I'm not participating anymore. I'm not consuming anything more than I absolutely have to consume to live. What I just did is one of the powerful things that of us can do. I will not consume anything more than what I need to live. I'm going to say that a third time. I will not consume anything more than what I need to live. Not only will that keep more money in your bank account, but that is what breaks the machine. That is the only thing the machine can't co-opt. It can co-opt the revolution. It has so many times. Just ask Che Guevara. Sorry, you can't ask the brother, because after they killed him Now you have a t-shirt that you can buy at Target for $9.99. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? The only way to destroy, and here's how it's happened. It's got to happen completely and totally horizontally across the board. It's got to happen in solidarity across silos. Solidarity across silos. Let me write that one down. That one just came to me right now. I need to put it on this little piece of paper I got right here. Solidarity across silos. Whatever group you are in, whatever marginalized group that you are in. And listen, let me tell you that marginalization, if you are a white Christian straight man, but you oppose marriage, you better assume that you are a marginalized group. If you are a white Christian man, straight man, but you oppose MAGA, you better not for a second think any longer that you are in the majority. They will come and get you first. In fact, they have to come get you first. What's happening with immigrants is the spectacle. It is the setup for their real agenda, which is to crush any political opposition. Who is their greatest political opposition? Folks with money and who blend in with them. See, they can keep most of us lives just by cutting the algorithm off. Y'all see how many people we usually have over here on this channel? Y'all see, like, they just, all you got to do is crush the algorithm, and 90% of all marginalized groups are silenced. But if you are a white, Christian, straight man with money and you oppose Donald Trump, oh, you better realize your side isn't as strong as you think it is. And you better realize you need to be in solidarity with those of us down here at the bottom, because they're going to come and get you just like they're going to come and get the rest of us. We need solidarity across silos. Do you know how absolutely ignorant you have to be a black person supporting ICE? Do you know how absolutely ignorant you have to be a gay person supporting MAGA? Do you know how absolutely ignorant you have to be an immigrant or a Mexican or whatever, a brown person, and be racist? You know how absolutely mind-numbingly ignorant you have to be a woman and support the patriarchy? And yet we have people in every siloed group who have assigned to our siloed group in order to prevent us from having solidarity across the silos. There have been people assigned to every group. There are black people who have been assigned to the black community to ensure that we are neutralized when it comes to standing up against ICE. There have been black people assigned to the black community to ensure that we are neutralized when it comes to standing up for LGBTQIA rights. There have been people from the LGBTQIA community who have been assigned to make sure we don't solidarity with black people. You even got Muslims who have been assigned to ensure that we can't have solidarity around Palestine. We must have solidarity across silos, because without solidarity across silos, and in that solidarity, the number one thing that we can do is to step back and say, nah, I'm not playing your game anymore. If I can survive without being a cog or meat in your grinder, if I can survive on $2,000 a month instead of spending $10,000 a month, If I can survive and have, one subscription instead of 30 subscriptions, if I can survive without eating out, if I can survive without going to big box stores, if I can survive by completely getting off of what they need from me, which is to be completely and totally patched in every aspect of our life, in every aspect of our consumption. We are more consumers than anything else. This economy is a 75% consumer economy. If we just take a step back across all of our silos and in unity say, we're not doing it anymore. That's the only way we break this demonic machine that is grinding every one of us to a pulp. And because, watch this, it's not enough for them to grind us to a pulp, because they've been grinding us to a pulp for years now. That's not new. They've been grinding us to a pulp for years now. Now it's necessary that they exterminate. Ask Gaza. There's always the escalation to extermination. The occupation wasn't enough. The apartheid wasn't enough. Okay. Spectacle that ICE is putting on in this country, it's not enough. What's the scripture? I need to find it because I don't want to misquote it. I think it says something about eyes are never full and eyes are never satisfied. I'm Googling it as I say it, folks. Fied, and hell is never full. What's that scripture? Because I want to give it to you. Proverbs 27:20. Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. The New International Version says in Proverbs 27:20, death and destruction are never satisfied, neither are human eyes. What you're seeing happening with the ICE raids is not the end, it is the beginning, because the spectacle always demands more. They demand, they want more. They're going to require more. It's going to be a louder shout from the crowd. It wasn't, see, I almost went to church on y'all for real, right? The crowd is never satisfied. I got to do it. Y'all forgive me if I had a Hammond organ, I might start hooping on this one. The audience is never satisfied because it wasn't for Jesus to Jerusalem and they were crying Hosanna. No, that wasn't enough. Then they started to see him go through trials, right? They sent him to court. That wasn't enough. Then what happened? They beat him all night long, whipped him all night long. That wasn't enough. Eventually they had to yell, crucify him. Crucify him. Why? Because the crowd, the mob is never satisfied. These people who are cheering on ICE are not going to be satisfied with deporting immigrants. Why do you think they have all of these new $45 billion investments into keeping people in containment? Detention facilities. If they were honestly trying to deport everybody, they will put all the money into deportation. They're building facilities. Why? Because they're not satisfied with deportation. They're not satisfied with occupation. Israel, they're not satisfied with apartheid. These are evil people who will not be satisfied until it reaches a level of violence that includes extermination, bloodshed, massacres, wars, pandemics, plagues, pestilence. And if we don't realize that they know exactly what they're doing. Don't waste another minute trying to convince them that they're wrong. Don't waste a minute convince them to see it your way. They know what they're doing, and they are executing a plan. And the only hope that we have is solidarity across every one of our silos. Folks, and before I leave, I want to say this. I'm streaming on my channel, and let me see how many people are streaming on my channel. I appreciate all of you who have tuned in. I do this every Thursday on thisspace.tv. You know, I love you. I have 118 people. Last week was 111. Great. 118 people on my channel this week. Nika, would you take the link from thisspace.tv and post it over there into my chat over there on my channel? If I get 118 of you, if I can get all of you, every one of you who are watching, to come over and to subscribe and to stay as long as you can. I know everybody has life and stuff to do, but if you can stay, even if you just keep it on the background. Matter of fact, 100, this is not asking too much. Open up a tab. Even if you don't have, check in, listen, because Angry Ginger is dope. I love that brother. I love his work. I love his spirit. He's one of the goodest. He's one of the goodest dudes I know. So you definitely want to tune in and listen to the man, right? But maybe you got to do something. Keep the tab open, just put it on mute. And when you get a chance, check back in and listen. We need the numbers to rise. 118 people. We're going to let it stream for a few more minutes on my channel afterwards so that you can click on the link. But I need all 118 of you to go over to thisspace.tv. Go over to This Space YouTube channel. Again, let me say this. This is about solidarity across silos. Thisspace.tv is the most diverse platform out here. Hands down, period. We have people from every race, ethnicity, walks of life, professions, and working class, all in between, from the LGBTQIA community to people who are straight, and it is a diverse community. So when I say we need solidarity across our silos, thisspace.tv is the place. So I need 118 of you to skip over from my channel and at a minimum subscribe. Come on, listen. If a preacher can't move people to action, right? I'm not asking for an offering, right? I'm just because come on, don't embarrass me. Don't make me look like I don't have no. I need y'all to come on over, and at a minimum, I need you to subscribe. And if you're going to really do me a solid, I need you to keep that tab open. And even if you got to go to work, even if you have it in the background and you need to cook dinner, just leave it open in the background. You may not know who the next few are. It doesn't matter, because I can guarantee you this: they are in solidarity with what all of us should be standing for. With that said, I'm going to yield the floor to my good friend, my brother from another mother, the Angry Ginger. We'll see you next time. Before we do that, let me just play this real quick. I just want to play this one more time. Before I do that, I just want to play this. I just want to leave with my opener, because my little son voice, I just love it so much. I'm out. See y'all next time.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to patreon.com/the BPD Show and support the Benjamin Dixon Show.
What is going on, guys? Man, Pastor Benjamin, if you are not feeling that, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Pastor Benjamin brings it, and solidarity across all silos, I think, just speaks so much to who we are and what we're doing here. Like I've said before, when you got a bald, angry ginger coming on after a pastor that spits the fire that Pastor Benjamin does, like, I don't know that there is any more solidarity across silos that can be shown to you. And he's right. We're bringing diverse voices, people that speak from different places. And, you know, something I wanted to talk about right off is something that Pastor Benjamin, and I saw people in the chat that were talking about as well. And that is consumerism. Consumerism is the perfection of slavery. It is the way that this country specifically, and possibly the world itself, is pushing middle class, lower middle class, impoverished people further and further down, and taking away more and more control that you have and giving it to the ultra wealthy. I work in grocery. A lot of you guys know about the price of eggs. And I said this, I said, if you want to make an impact, you want to see the price of eggs go down. You want to see this overwhelmingly price gouged product. And I can tell you that. I buy this product for wholesale value as a store manager. I can tell you that Kroger's was price gouging you. Kroger's told you that they price gouged you. They had a man during a committee, during a congressional committee that worked for Kroger say, yes, we are taking more profit off of the price of eggs because we are losing profit in other areas. I told everybody, I said, you want to see the price of eggs go down? Stop buying them. Stop buying them. And you know what? People finally stopped panic buying, stopped buying 6 and 7 dozen eggs for no goddamn reason other than the fact that they were scared and selfish. They're worried. They thought that they weren't going to come in and get those eggs anymore. And well, what if I don't have enough eggs? But eventually, you can only pay for $9 eggs for so long. You can only pay for $10, $12 eggs for so long before people start going, you know, maybe I don't need eggs. And that's what happened. That's what happened. You know, Donald Trump wants to claim he did this or he did that, and blah, 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 blah. He didn't do a goddamn thing. He didn't do anything. Biden called those chickens, the 38 or 45 million chickens over 3